Welcome back, everyone. On Friday, the University of Texas system said they were looking at the possibility of raising tuition for the 2017-18 year. Chancellor William McRaven says UT is having a tough time keeping up with the costs as state appropriations are cut. Higher tuition means more money as students will have to pay back when they graduate. And by the numbers, according to the Wall Street Journal, the class of 2015 owes an average of $35,000 in student loans. That's nearly 3 times as much as in 1993, and nearly 7 out of 10 grads owe money. So how can you pay that debt off as quickly as possible without giving away your paycheck and keep it from adding more stress to your relationship if you're in one? Brian Pearson with IHC Financial Group is with us this morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Good to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, I know a lot of people out there have their ears perked up right now because they want to know, especially how to lower the stress in a relationship. I know, I mean, on that first date, should you just throw it right out there and be the Debbie Downer? We're talking about you may not get a second date after that.
Right, true. And you know, another interesting statistic is that there's over $1 trillion in student loan debt right now, of which almost $100 billion of that is in default. So yeah, going into a relationship, you might as well throw it out there and end the relationship early.
Yeah, see if your budget is going to be big enough, or your paycheck's big enough to cover it. Because even if you don't have debt, the person you're in a relationship could have it. Then you're taking it on and you get married, and that is part of your debt history as well.
Right, and you know, in recent studies, nearly half of those that were discussed and talked to said that they would actually end a relationship before getting into a marital type of situation where they had to inherit somebody else's debt. They would end the relationship altogether, or at least put off the marriage until that debt was paid off. Wow,
there is proof that it could be a deal breaker. But of course the important part is communication, having a plan. I know you really push that. So how do you come up with a plan of attack?
Well, I've come up with 4 simple steps to help couples, you know, address the debt issue. And it's not just the student loan debt, but credit cards, mortgages, car loans, and so forth. And the first step is really to look at his and hers responsibilities. A lot of people go into relationship type situations where they look at it and say, okay, this is your debt, you're responsible, you have to pay it off, and this is my debt, I'm responsible, I'll pay this off. And you go into it in a separate type of outlook, whereas statistically, when it comes to successful relationships and successful situations in dealing with finances, the best way to approach that is to pull those resources together, to look at it as one problem and take those monies and get serious and take care of that debt together as one individual.
Interesting. Tackle it together. Okay, now step number 2.
Prioritize those payments. May sound very simple, but get a handle of the amount of debt that there is, when those due dates are, what the interest rates look like, and so forth. And obviously prioritize them in a way starting with those that have the highest interest rates, which is typically going to be your credit cards, your other unsecured debt. Your lower interest rate items are going to be your mortgages, your car loans typically, student loans. And obviously you've got to make payments on those, but you can make the minimum payments while maximizing those cards and so forth, the debt that has the highest interest rates.
Yeah, that's when it can get messy, when you then have the late fees on top of that to deal with, and you get into a deeper hole. All right, number 3, how low can you go?
That sounds catchy, doesn't it? How low can you go? Well, statistically, 2 of every 3 people that contacted credit card companies were actually able to negotiate lower interest rates. It's a very competitive marketplace out there in the credit card industry, and credit card companies want to get their money back. And so they're typically more than happy to work with people and lower those interest rates if they have to keep your business and to get their money back. And so you're talking typically thousands of dollars that you could save by simply getting a lower interest rate.
Yeah, so you've got some negotiating power. And then the final one, number 4, if you're taking notes out there, give it all you've got.
You know, a financial expert says this: leave scorched earth behind. You know, beans and rice, rice and beans. The only time you should see the inside of a restaurant is if you're working there. But, you know, get serious about tackling this debt and do the things that you need to do to get ahead. And one catchy topic I like to throw out there is make micro payments. You know, instead of going out to dinner, instead of buying those concert tickets, take that savings and go ahead and send it in to the credit card company, the student loan company, the mortgage company, and so forth. Make minor payments or small payments, not just waiting for that big payment that's due once per month. So take that savings and start tackling that debt in little ways throughout the month.
Yeah, get disciplined about it and see where else you could shave off some spending and put it toward that and knock it out faster.
Right.
These are great tips. Thank you so very much for being with us. If you missed any of that, we're going to have all 4 of those tips on our website with information in detail about what you said this morning.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Thank you.